ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Episode 12 of the Scottish Falcons. So rise up, charge up them pipes, and let's get into some football. Before we get into anything, as always, we are the Scottish Falcons. So first of all, I'm your boy Will the Thrill Waddle, coming at you out a not so sunny Clyde Bank all the way to Atlanta. Bringing this thing international for you all. But before we get into anything, as I say, I'm going to introduce the lady and the gentleman up above me here. But first off, the first lady of AFN herself, she's coming at you with an extra special appearance tonight. So we're going international yet again. Miss Maggie, how are you?
I'm good. I was like, I got some availability. It's been a minute since I made my debut on here. So I just wanted to come in, and because it's football. We have football come Friday. So, I'm excited. I am too excited.
Can you make sure there's nothing running?
Yeah.
I'm running like fucking shit.
Yeah, football's amazing. I can't wait. We're literally a couple of days away from a Falcons game.
Mm-hmm.
Issue is it's going to be completely vanilla in all the plays that they make, Maggie. I think people need to understand that, but it's football nonetheless. So I think we got a wee taste of it with the last game, the game last week, the Hall of Fame game. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I am too. I think he was fussing at somebody in the background. He'll be back. We're gonna keep it moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about, even if it's just the rookies that's going to be playing. We'll get to see some people play. I mean, I'm just ready for football altogether, and I'm just happy that they're just being cautious. I know a lot of people's like, why are we not starting some of the people up front? But it's like they're calculating their steps, because we expect to have a long run in all these games, 17 games. So we got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it from both sides, Maggie. I mean, you want to see the starters, but when you look, I think we've seen enough from Michael Penix Jr. He played the last three games last year, so we've seen enough from that point of view. I think Kirk Cousins, the main issue with Kirk Cousins is if he goes out there and he gets injured, then you can't trade him. I think most teams understand what Kirk Cousins can give to them. I mean, seemingly in the training camp, he's been lighting it up, so he's been doing really well in training camp. So he's back, he's fully healed. So, but again, yeah, I see the Ferrari over not playing some starters, but I think from my point of view, you're not going to play Michael Penix Jr. There's no point. Bearing in mind that when you're playing a preseason game, you're up against guys that are literally fighting for their NFL career. So they get to the quarterback. They don't care if it's lower leg, whatever. They just want to get to the quarterback. So you have to understand it from the coaching point of view. If Michael Penix Jr. goes out there, plays a couple of snaps, gets injured, I guarantee you the Ferrari around playing Michael Penix Jr. is going to be higher and hotter than actually not playing him. And again, it's the same with Kirk Cousins. From my point of view, it's a guaranteed deal. I'm pretty sure there's an injury part on the contract that if he gets injured, he's getting paid fully. The way I look at it is, I'm happy this year, and I was thinking about it. I'm happy this year to pay that $27 million to have him as our backup. That's enough. That's worth it to have him there. But I'll again get into this because I've seen the Ferrari. What people need to understand from if you're the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff, then you're thinking to yourself, what if we get a great trade deal for Kirk Cousins? What have we got once he goes? So that's what they need to look at in these preseason games. Easton Stick and Emery Jones, we need to know what our backup quarterback can do. So that's what's more important about these preseason games. What's your thoughts, Will?
Right, hello, we're back. We're coming through loud and clear now. Apologies again, guys.
Well, I'm not going to say, just watch how many times you say hello, because you might get a few people that's watching in Scotland upset. So,
hello there. How are we all?
yeah, you can only say so many hellos. You know what I mean?
No, but yeah, as I say, a lot to get into tonight. I've got a heck ton of media saved up. But as I say, I heard you guys talking about the quarterbacks, so we'll start off there. So yeah, as I say, we'll pull up the first banner. We can jump around a bit because we've got a lot to get through. But first off, let's have a look at this chat, because I did notice that the minute I started creating the show today, that we already had comments. So shout out to anybody who was down showing love. I did see that Lee85 showed us some love as well. So just having a bit of problem getting to those comments just now.
Yeah,
but if you did take the time to show love, we really appreciate that. If you're checking in since the start of the show, I'm just getting situated myself. So once again, thank you for showing love. Always showing support from early on. From the minute we get in the building, you're in the building, and we can't thank you enough for that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, talking about quarterbacks, as you say. So no MPJ, no Kirko. So I've got a couple of nice photos. So I thought that was quite a cool still there. And then, as I say, our Mike and our Kirk will not be playing during pre-season. So it's time for Easton Stick and Emery Jones, former DC defender, to rise up. I like it. I like keep resting both starters. As I say, you don't want to make that $27 million investment null and void as it pertains to Cousins. So you want to keep him healthy and have him compete, as we say, to be the best backup in the NFL, as we've said on multiple occasions. And how do you feel about that, Maggie, with QB3 and QB4 in contention now? Are you looking forward to seeing these guys, or do you feel some kind of way about it? Are you feeling any trepidation?
No, I'm not. I'm not, because especially how Des pulled it down and everything else. Honestly, we're just trying to hold on to our dollar piece right now that's sitting over there, because there's going to be a possibility, and honestly, it always happens. There's going to be a quarterback that's going to end up going down. Let's just be real. Yeah. And we'd rather it not be Kirk Cousins, because then it's like nobody wants him at this point. I mean, somebody might want him, but he might be reasonable enough to say, hey, you know what? I'll go down on, I'll take my no trade clause out of there and I'm ready to go. So, so to see what our backups would possibly be after the fact is good to know, so I'm not hung up on not seeing Penix or Kirk Cousins. I've been to training camp. I've seen them enough. So I know what they're capable of. And shoot, we get a detailed training camp report. So you guys see what's happening, what's going on. And it's nothing for another team to call and ask, like, hey, we're interested in your quarterback now. Let us know a little bit about what's going on with him. Because we need a quarterback and hope he's, game ready. Hey, we got Kirk Cousins right there for you. And then, of course, now we still got the other two in the mix, wanting to look into be that possible backup in that situation if that comes about.
Yeah, right. I agree with you there. I think we've seen the best of what these guys can do. We've also seen from Kirk's stretch last season the worst of what these guys can do in some places. Shout out to 10Cam01. He'll be joining us very, very soon. Did you make it out to camp today, Maggie?
No, I didn't. I had to work, of course. I only can make it to the weekend camps. I can I can see the updates and things like that. But no, I can't make it to weekday camps because I have to work every day. So
gotcha.
But no, I didn't even see pictures of Roddy White, but I haven't really been on social media like that to see every single thing that took place. So I'm just catching up. So, but it's nice to see that he's out there, and of course we're gonna see a lot of them come out. I thought I saw a picture. I don't know if it was Chris Draft. which might have been just a picture he forgot that he put in there. But I thought I saw Grady Jarrett in a picture. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so Mohamed Sanu was there the other day.
Okay.
With Jamal Agnew. He was showing love to Jamal Agnew, so that was nice to see. I think the main comment, I mean, Roddy White, what a legend. I think the main comment
100%.
that effectively that's getting said is the fact that a lot of these legends are coming to practice. You know what I mean? Legends that, I mean, I can't wait till Julio Jones appears at practice one day and effectively all that issue, but with him and Arthur Blank is put aside. You know what I mean? So, but you just tend to see when everybody believes that the team's going to do really well, that the legends turn up and show support, which is phenomenal. And again, I'll go back to what I said before about Mike Vick and Matt Ryan. These guys ain't turning up and appearing if they didn't believe that this team could be special. You know what I mean? You hear. I mean, I was watching a PFF thing today, and I mean, I think with the fan zone, we are up below or above 7.5, which is just ridiculous. So the betting is different in America where it is over here, but I think what people forget is we were 2 coin tosses away from 10-7 last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If we had won the coin tosses, we could have won the 2 games.
100%.
You know what I mean? But again, it still seems to be that Tampa Bay is heavily favoured. All people are doing is they're looking at NFC South. They're seeing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won it for the last 4 years, and they're heavily favoured. What they don't understand is we beat Tampa Bay Buccaneer twice last year when we played them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So
We did indeed.
Again, the disrespect is still a wee bit out there, but I would say I'm starting to see the wind change a wee bit, guys, because I think people like Bijan coming out and saying Bijan coming out and saying that he effectively watched the defense and he can see the change in the defense and how it seems different and it's more intense. And I mean, I'll say it again, that this year this feels special. But what I would say is there's still fans out there that want to see Michael Penix Jr. in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen, guys. The coaching staff are not idiots. They're just not going to take a chance on what I believe is going to be a special quarterback.
100%. You can't risk people getting hurt and things like that. I completely get the epithets that you're saying. I agree with a lot of what the guys are saying in the chat as well. And a shout out for that last comment because we've got a whole section coming up on the rookies. But before we get into the rookies and start talking about the Detroit game, a couple of bits of breaking news over the last couple of days as well. So the Falcons have extended starting right tackle Caleb McGarry. And for an absolute steal, 2 years, $30 million. So we have not only signed an absolute beast of a human being, but we have also signed one of the cornerstones, as I say, of this fantastic offensive line of ours. So you can't be mad at that. And there's a little bit of a caveat as well, which me and Des will get into later. Because of the money that we've freed up, but we won't spoil that too much at the moment. But guys, how do you feel? We'll start off with you, Des, and then we'll get to you, Maggie. It had to happen, surely, yeah.
I mean, there's been so much suspicion around Caleb McGarry. I think the fact that he had a few seasons he struggled a few seasons when he get drafted. And then effectively when he hit his contract year, he started playing like a veteran. He was phenomenal. I don't think that's anything to do with the fact that he was just playing for his contract. I just think the whole game slowed down for him. He bulked up. He was better for all the last few seasons that he'd played. And I got to say, since then, the last few seasons, he has been phenomenal. And as you say, on an average 15 million a year for one of the best O-line in the NFL. At the end of the day, if you look at any of the top coaches, the one thing they say that they need to do around he's not a rookie, but a quite a newish quarterback is have a great and consistent O-line and have a great and consistent running game. And we're able to give them, or we're able to give Michael Penix Jr. both of them. But for $15 million a year, absolutely fantastic.
100%.
We want to watch. You know what I mean?
And shout out to Jerome down in the chat, showing love again. As I say, another one that's always showing love from the UK. We love it. So shout out. Keep them coming. As I say, comments, questions, we love to hear it. But yeah, while we're on the subject of Caleb McGarry, as I say, a bastion for this offensive line, protecting we're new QB's blind side, and for 15 million a year, you can't argue with that value, can you, Maggie?
No, and I was going to just kind of add to that. It just shows that he's not on a money hungry grab. He's just here because he wants to be a part of this team, and he. Some players, they get, like you said, he kind of had some challenges in the beginning and everything else. And he found, and honestly, I also agree. I don't think it was just my contract is coming, I'm going to get right. It was more of he just needed to get it together. And so to me, it just says that he's just dedicated to the team and wanted to make the most of, he knew how much of an impact he is here. And some people are comfortable where they are. It's like, why would I want to go anywhere else or anything? I mean, I'm fine right here. This system works for me. It's best for me. So I'm going to just take what we negotiate, and I'm perfectly happy like that. I'm sure he considered the way his life, way he lives and things like that. And he probably said, this is comfortable for me. This is how I'm okay with this. My family is taken care of. I'm in a place where I'm happy to be with the coaches and everything else, so I take it as just saying, you know what, I'm dedicated to making sure we are the best. So, and it frees up some things. So, it's exciting when you see players do that. It means that they not only want to be here, but they also want to make sure that it frees up some things where we can make additional moves to better this team. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, what I would like to say as well is that I think the one thing that players want more than money is a Super Bowl ring. And I think when you start getting competitive, it's surprising how players want to sign up. And it doesn't have to be a budget-busting contract. You know what I mean? Caleb McGarry's probably looked at James Pierce. I mean, I actually tweeted out and said that Caleb McGarry played a couple of training practices with James Pierce and thought to himself, I ain't going another team against that man.
I'm good. He hurts me enough knowing that we're brothers. I'm with you there.
I'm good here. I'm good here. I don't care about the money. I'm good here. So yeah, it's great for the Falcons.
And while we're talking about like impact players, another thing that I've been hearing around training camp is that wide receiver one Drake London has impressed, and the word that we seen was shined in first indoor practice. So my thoughts are going to be pay them. And again, we go into this media that I've pulled up because I've got 3 standout examples of why this man deserves to be paid. So there is one coming up right now, if it will pull up. There is one right there against the Bucks. There is number 2 against Dallas. and there is number 3. That stunning one-hander against Baltimore. So that's 3 of many examples that we could pull up in a heartbeat that would show you exactly why that guy deserves to be making some real money in the league. So, I mean, as you say, it's what we expected to hear, given his ability, and yeah, as you say, how do you feel about that? I mean, he's only going to continue to get better, so surely we need to pay him now. Maggie, how do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a given. We're gonna end up having to pay the man. He's deserved it. And did you see that? Was it Drake London and Raheem? What was that? Drake London? Hold on. Let me look it up. I'm gonna make sure I got it right. When he knocked him down. I think that was Drake London.
Yeah, that was Drake London. Yeah, that was quite good.
That was funny. That was too funny. But this shows that he's over here having him a good ass time. And I feel like he wouldn't, he's gonna want to. It's gonna be given that we pay him. And he's well deserving of it. I don't see anybody that would have an issue with not paying Drake London. He's proved himself. He continues to prove himself, and he's having a good ass camp. Why do you see him everywhere? I can look at some of the things from today, and I will pull it up in a minute. But I don't have any obligation to why we wouldn't pay the man. It's the press conference. Raheem and Drake dropped the ball, so Raheem still got it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, from my point of view, it's only too much if he doesn't play good enough. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, from my point of view, I said on X that effectively, if it was me, I would wait just before the start of the season and effectively tweet out what the new contract's going to be for him next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Drake London's going to be really, really important to us this year. Very, very important. And that just allows us then to effectively for Michael Penix to push the ball down the field. But whatever they pay him, I don't think, what I would say is I don't think Drake London or his agents are going to be difficult to work with. I think Drake London, when you come out and say, "Oh, I'm bleeding the Falcons," you know what I mean. I think he wants to be here. And as I said again about Caleb McGarry, the more competitive you get, the more that players want to be here. It doesn't matter so much, but it's still important. But it doesn't matter so much how much they walk away with at the end of the season.
And I mean, I agree with that because it's basically because right now our biggest problem was just, of course, consistent coaching staff, of course.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just wasn't syncing right through all these changes. Certain players just wasn't catching on. Injuries plagued us that year. We was playing with Dolphins Field, and so we just had a lot of stuff going on right before the quarterback situation we had, where we didn't know who was going to be what. It just put us in some predicaments that we had to work ourselves out of that. Now we have it where we're in a good season where we have same players coming back, where they can get adjusted to each other even more, with the quarterback now being that he's starting with the ones, and it gives them an opportunity to grow even closer.
Yeah.
And where it's like, I know this player, I know that player, I know how he works, I know how he operates. Now even the coaching staff knows where to place these players. Like, okay, this is his strength, this is his weakness, because I've been dealing with him long enough to know where to put these people and and everything. Like the blind side, since he's a left-handed quarterback, you're gonna make sure those little small intricate details are taken care of on the field, but it's players that you're familiar with. So it's like, I already know what to expect when we run in these plays, who's going to get it, who's not, it makes it better as the years goes along, where they're, getting familiar with everything. And that's what you want, to the point it becomes second nature for them. It's like, shit, we're good at what we do now. We're competitive. We're great. And it makes makes for a better team.
Yeah, and again, you see how electric the Penix and London were for the 3 games last year. we've now we're in a position now where they've got a full pre-season. And I mean, from what I see in training camp, they're throwing. Drake London is getting a lot of balls through at him from Penix. You know what I mean? So they can only get better and better. It's probably the reason why we need such a healthy and dominant Kyle Pitts as well, because effectively people understand if you're a defensive coordinator and you've watched the last 3 games last year and you watched Penix in London and how they were so electric, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to double team Drake London. And if you double team Drake London, then you need to have somebody important, either Darnell Mooney or Kyle Pitts or Ray McLeod. You need to have another outage. And again, Michael Penix Jr. has showed in the last 3 games, in the last 3 games that he played, that he's prepared to go to his 4th read to get a ball off.
And you know, something interesting. I just, of course, I sent you guys in the chat, but it breaks down a lot of what happened in training camp. So just ironically, when you just talked about London getting the ball, even today, Penix receivers, London received 9 of those. And of course, he was the top of that list. And of course, we had Pitts for 4. We had Casey Washington for 2, Ray McLeod for 2, and then Bijan for 1. So London's that guy. London is that guy. So you pay the man.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I think as we'll go on later on, the timing. I think it's the timing. I think you're not wanting to do this the end of the season. You want to do this at a point when it's going to make an impact, Maggie.
Yeah.
And I believe that if you literally come out with a tweet that everything is agreed for the next 4 years or from next season for the next 4 years or whatever, with Drake London, that's then just going to boost the morale in the offense and the defense. And again, it's something that we can then push on from. So I always believe that it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. It comes down to the timing, when you're going to divulge when that contract's been signed, because it will be signed. There's nobody in Flowery Branch that doesn't want Drake London here. He's important. If Kyle Pitts hopefully has not a breakout season, but has starts to really dominate at the tight end position, then it's going to show you that effectively you've got the 2 big receivers, because Kyle Pitts isn't a tight end, he's a wide receiver, you know what I mean? So you're then starting to, and when you look at it as well, you look at how young the team is. That's what I think people forget. You look at, Kyle Pitts, I think, is only 25. You know what I mean? I think Drake London's only 24. Am I right?
Are you right? You know what? I can't. Let me see. Oh, that's okay. And I see. What's his name is? It's gonna be a minute before he gets back on. He's having some difficulties, but that's okay. How old is Cal?
Yeah, 24.
24. It's 24. Okay.
Yeah, he's only effectively turned 24. So when you look at that, and I think Bijan's only, I think, 24 as well. You know what I mean? These are players that we've had for 3-4 seasons. You know what I mean? You then look at Tyler Shocker at the Aints, and he's 26. I mean, our offense is younger than their rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Dwayne, Falcons ranked 31st, 20. But I feel that they did address that in free agency as well as the draft a bit, to where we'll see some improvement. I can say 15 at best, as far as our defense. That's where I'm predicting it to be. And I see that we got Cam pulling up here. Let me go ahead and get him on. You ready, Cam? Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I mean,
All right.
And we're gonna ask the same question about Drake. So we was just last going into Drake London, and then we're gonna talk about the next topic. But just paying the man because he's just clearly just showing out in training camp. How would you feel about if we wanted to go ahead and negotiate something with him? Would you be okay with that?
The sooner the better, honestly. Like you see how it works out in the market once somebody else gets paid. The price just keeps going up, and Drake London's worth every dollar.
Absolutely. You're right, because after a while, you see all these other players that get those paychecks. Not saying that Drake.
Well, I mean, the Bengals, they just had to sign 2 very good wide receivers, and yeah, I'm not sure really around the league if there's any like players whose contracts are coming up where it's going to make that jump up even more, but.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Just go ahead and and then that's the reason why I feel like some of these players are kind of just like, you know what, I'm comfortable with the contract that you give me, the rate, because I know in the end we have to sign other people, re-sign other people and negotiate some things here. So that this me helping the team make sure we have some cap to make sure we can do that and sign the people that needs to be re-sign the people that needs to be there. But this comment about the defense is what I wanted to go back into. Then we'll get into the next topic. How do yes, that was that. But do you feel that we did address the defense a little bit this season?
Yeah, no, we addressed it. 2 first-round picks up front. We got that Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts in the back. Watts, he's being compared to Jesse Bates quite a bit. Been said that he's like very mature. He already comes off like a veteran, just I don't know. I mean, we'll see when it comes together like on the field, but yeah, no, they've added the pieces. Leonard Floyd compared to James Pierce, his style of play and body type. So they're being very consistent with the pieces they've added to and the players that they already do have. So it seems like they actually got a plan. They're not just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. But
absolutely, I agree. I think everything that they chose was for what was best for this team. So, this is the first draft that I think a lot of people felt very satisfied with who they selected, and plus the undrafted and the free agency as well. I think they did a hell of a good job.
It's funny, like waking up the next day after the draft and like, there's still some people who are going to just throw their arms up in the air about any decision that's made. But like the first draft where it's like, wasn't that crazy about the Falcons and what they did in the draft. Like it just kind of felt nice. You weren't really left scratching your head. It was surprising that they came back in the first round, but no, I liked it. It just showed that they had the balls to do it, like
I mean, when you look, I mean, what I would say is what Dwayne C has said is we need to get off after the quarterback. This coaching staff knows that. They've got Jesse Bates. They then went out and they brought in Billy Bowman Jr. They brought in Xavier Watts, and the unsigned free agent was Kobe Bryant. They were 1, 2, and 3 in interceptions in CFB. You know what I mean? They then bring in 2 first round, effectively one, I would say maybe 2 edge rushers. So what Jeff Ulbrich wants is Jeff Ulbrich wants to put these quarterbacks that we're up against under enormous pressure. And then when we put them under enormous pressure and either sack them or pressure them or hit them, and they then make a mistake and throw the ball to to the wrong place, the wrong position, we've then got effectively 3 ball hawks that are going to snap up this ball. And we're not even talking about AJ Terrell as well, who effectively got in a few last season on a few interceptions as well. So, I mean, I always say I don't when it comes to the X's and O's, it's a wee bit tough for me, but I can see exactly what Jeff Ulbricht's trying to do. Pressurize the quarterback, put him under pressure, and then when he makes a mistake, have the guys in the secondary that are there to grab the ball.
I can't remember where I heard it. There's some video, but they said like Ulbrich is he's simplifying it. He's making it easy to understand. He's not trying to do anything like really crazy, you know. There's no point to. It's just make it simple, you know. Get after the quarterback, you know. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah.
I could say here, based on just kind of what I've been seeing from training camp and everything else, as far as just, of course, when it's the offense going against the defense, you know, the defense is having our quarterbacks drop some passes and things like that. You know, even though you want him to make it each and every time, but it also shows that pressure that they're starting to pressure our offense, and that means, of course, they get the experience of having that now. Great. You know, great to have that in practice, but it also says a lot about the defense as well, to where practice is becoming, you know, really competitive, where everybody on all sides have to really step it up. Like they were saying right here. Let me get to it. Okay. Edge Leonard Floyd made a great play on quarterback Kirk Cousins, his first drop back of his scrimmage this Wednesday. Cousins tried to float the ball over Floyd to the tight end in Teagan, but Floyd read it, jumped in, and intercepted that pass. He then ran it back for a pick six. So, you know, of course, it's Kirk Cousins, but it is good that I'm trying to find the one where Michael Penix missed his. They don't have that one highlighted too much, but just seeing that in the notes here, you know, just gives me some positive about what's going on with our defense. And we got edge, we got pass rush.
Yeah,
you know, that sounds amazing to me.
And again, Maggie, I know you said that. I mean, it's only Kirk Cousins, but effectively, Kirk Cousins is probably one of the, if not the best backup quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively, when Michael Penix Jr. is going against the seconds and the seconds in the offense are going against the firsts, it's effectively Kirk Cousins that's thrown against the first defense. So they're getting. We've all been there where you effectively see this in preseason and you think to yourself, either the defense that we're putting out in practice is really, really good, or the quarterback that we've got in as a backup is maybe just not very good. You know what I mean? We can't say that. Whatever you say about Kirk Cousins is he's a good quarterback. And that allows the defense to effectively train and work against a good pocket passer. And again, from what you're hearing in training camp, there's been obviously the pads are on, but there's been a few times that you hear that it would have been a sack. He would have been sacked. James Pierce would have sacked him. I think Rororo would have sacked him as well. So they're getting pressure, and they're getting pressure on a good pocket passer. So that's something to be happy about.
Oh yeah, and don't mind me. I'm technically still working, you guys. So if you see me kind of start typing and doing stuff, I'm listening, but I'm here. And I was seeing what's his comment here. It says Falcons haven't had a double-digit sacker since
Spike Beasley.
Much, yeah. So
yeah. Listen, Dwayne. I've already went on a rant with this. The fact that we had Vic Beasley and the slander around Vic Beasley is ridiculous. I mean, effectively, he was the last season he had with the Falcons. He had 8 sacks. 8 sacks.
We would kill to have a guy do that
Absolutely.
right now.
and we released him. We effectively let him walk out the door the next season. We didn't re-sign him, and he had 8 sacks. how many players have we had with 8 sacks since 2019? 0.
We could even what was it last season or year before that? We could even get 8. I forgot how many sacks we damn had.
Yeah. I think last season,
it's been in like the 30s or like low 40s, like for the past few years, like, which is insane. There's players who have more sacks than the Falcons do in the past like 5.
The Super Bowl year, Vic Beasley had 15 sacks, and I had somebody on Twitter saying, but he fell into most of them. Well, I don't care. You have to be in the right place to get a sack.
Yeah.
So you don't know. You go to any of these pass rushers or any of these edges in training camp, when they get a sack and say to them, "Oh, you fell into that one," they're going to knock you out. They're going to laugh you out the building. Nobody falls into sacks. You have to be in the right position, put enough pressure on it, and effectively be there and do the right thing. You know what I mean? Nobody falls into 15 sacks. So I always say, I think the football gods were looking down on us and watched what we done to Vic Beasley after 8 sacks. How we literally just tossed him aside. It was ridiculous. And then 2020 arrives and the defense is woeful. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I've said 1,000 times, the Atlanta Falcons would be one of the best teams in the NFL, but they keep on making just silly, daft, wee mistakes all the time.
And the thing is, we don't even need like an elite defense to be a good team. This is like something Scott Kennedy always says, like, if we could just have mid, that'd be amazing. Like the offense is so great. Yeah, no, that's all we do is just need a mid defense with our offense. And overall, it's going to be an amazing team.
Because, think about it. I mean, because if our offense is doing what they need to do, it keeps the defense off the field for the most part. So they're not getting restless. So when they do get a chance to get out there, they're just, sacking, knocking them out, doing what they need to do, and just keeping that. We keep those points on the board, and the offense is scoring like crazy, and we don't let them come back. We're in a good place. We will be in a good place. But we're going to get into this. Who will play and who won't. Preseason here. We already kind of know it's pretty much the rookies that are going to get their shine throughout preseason, because we were starting this earlier with me and Des, so I'm gonna let you, Will, get in here a little bit. Not Will, excuse me. Cam, how you feel about just they're not starting the starters in the preseason games? Who's playing for this game coming up? We have a game come Friday. How do you feel about that? Are you in an uproar about that, or are you okay with just the rookies playing and seeing James Pierce and Walker and a few others that gets out there, and we kind of put a face to the name when they put the cleats on?
So do we know if Pierce is starting right?
Pierce is going to get some snaps, yeah.
Okay. I don't know about Jalen if he's going to be starting since the whole hamstring thing, but I'm not sure.
I think they're being limited with him, but I thought I saw somewhere where he may get in there a little, but I'll look that up in a moment and see if I can.
I think Raheem had said that JD Bertram, I think he was wearing the non-contact vest for in the last few days. Seemingly, Raheem said that he's out. He won't be playing practice, or he'll be playing in the game. But I think probably
okay. And here it is. It says Jalen Walker, James Pierce, Xavier Watts set to play for Friday.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see him play. Any of the players who aren't getting, like him not playing in these starters, something I have to accept. I don't really think, I think it helps a bit to have your starters play a little bit in the preseason, but I don't think it's like world changing. And if Raheem finds it as too much of a risk, then he can do that. It's his team. He's the head coach, and that's something I got to deal with. It doesn't really bother me anyways, but yeah, I get why people are bothered by like Michael Penix not starting in the preseason in his second year, but I don't think it's going to be that detrimental to his start in the league.
I guess it's to me, honestly, just being a biased fan, I would kind of like to see a couple of touches because
Right.
we got Tampa Bay coming up.
Yeah.
So we already got a division rival right there out the gate.
Right. You want to start out hot.
We beat them, but it would be nice to kind of get the star and do a couple of touches. But of course, we're not.
I definitely love to see him.
I would love to see it, but if they feel like it's just they already know what to expect out there, especially if training camp is going the way I'm saying it, where you got defense stepping up and it's light there, and I guess that's why they have the scrimmages and things like that. That's their way of getting some preseason activity in, just not on camera, but that's their way of going against an opponent to get that practice in, even if it's just not in the
preseason. King Richie said Ulbrich said the pass rushers won't be in coverage, so thank God. I got to see no more Judon and cover 3 or something, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I have to go the other way. I'm sorry, but if you're Raheem Morrison, your job effectively is on the line whether you put Michael Penix Jr. out and he gets injured. I said earlier before you come on, Cam, these players, some of these are third and fourth players. You know what I mean? Some of these players are literally fighting for their NFL career. And none of them care about the quarterback that's on the other side, whether he gets injured or not. All they're caring about is their stats and getting a sack. We can't put a franchise quarterback or, I believe, Kirk Cousins into a position where they get injured.
Right.
Again, Raheem's he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't play Michael Penix Jr. Then there's a lot of unhappy Falcons fans. If he does play him and he gets injured, then it's season over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just you can't. We've seen what he can do for the last 3 games. I've said before, if you're a defensive coordinator, you're studying the games over and over and over to work out what kind of player this quarterback is. You then don't want to. I mean, to be honest, even in preseason, it's so vanilla. The actual calls are so vanilla that effectively you don't get to see anything special anyway. You know what I mean? So I honestly believe Raheem isn't going to put his job on the line for a preseason game. I honestly believe. I mean, when I look back in the last few seasons, it just wasn't as important as what I think this season is. There's so many undrafted free agents that were really, really sought after, like the Nick Nashes and the Kobe Bryants. That should be the news. It shouldn't be whether he's playing a starter that we know is going to be a franchise quarterback. What have we to learn from this? There's nothing. There's nothing to learn with Michael Penix Jr. playing in a preseason game. But there's a lot to learn. If we then trade Kirk Cousins, we then need to know what we've got behind the guys. You know what I mean? Easton Stick, is he any good? Emory Jones, is he any good? Because if Kirk Cousins goes, Easton Stick is our backup quarterback, and Emory Jones is effectively the practice squad quarterback. So we need to know what these players have got. The other thing as well that people need to understand as well is in training, most of the first and the second snaps are going to the quarterback, the main quarterback, and the backup quarterback. So effectively, this allows the other quarterbacks to get some game time.
And also, and I'm going to say this too, it's a possibility that because we, of course, got one less preseason game and then it extended our season, it's like, you know what? We got a longer stretch of game to play here. So it's, you got to think about it. It can be exhausting, that many amount of games and, one less preseason. Now, maybe if we would have had one more, possibly we might have seen a little adjustment like that. But then again, I don't know. But it could be a factor that, well, we have less of a preseason game here with one more added to the schedule. We'll just figure it out as the season goes along and have these scrimmages when we play these other opponents, in practice. That's our way of having that extra, like I said, preseason game.
And again, the other thing to look at as well is our bye week is week 5. And you want to get to the point where we hit the playoff and half our team's gassed out because you decided to play them in a couple of preseason games. You know what I mean?
Right.
What are we to learn from Drake London playing in a preseason game?
Yeah, it's not even going to be the same playbook that they're going to be using in the regular season.
As I said, Cam, it's going to be vanilla. It's going to be the most boring plays that you're ever going to see from Zach Robinson. So there's no. Listen, I see it from everybody's side, but there's no benefit, absolutely no benefit for playing these players. There's no There's only a downside, and the downside is they get injured.
Yep.
That is it. So I can understand that the fans getting really, really upset that they're not playing the starters. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the season, the tickets to actually go to the preseason is probably quite a bit of money. But again, it's to see some of these players that could make a difference. The Kobe Bryants, the Nick Nashes, you know what I mean? The Billy Bowmans, the Xavier Watts, I'd pay the ticket price just to see James Pierce Jr. in his first game. You know what I mean? If that man hasn't got flags flying everywhere, in the first or second snap, then I'll be surprised, because that man just loves creating trouble, and that's great for us.
And this Cameron person in here. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
I see you're a troll here, and I think you need to be a little bit more concerned about what the hell is happening with your team at this point.
Throwing stones from a glass house.
Oh my gosh! Like I don't even know what to expect from you guys. Normally, I kind of have an idea, but I feel like you guys are kind of going to be the bottom of the barrel. So you got a lot of talk back there in the basement, but it's okay. It's okay.
Oh man.
But we ain't gonna give him too much shine. He just he want him and the Patriots fans. They want to be relevant in these chats. But I want to get into this preseason depth chart. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Of course, it's an obvious depth chart here, but hope you guys can see that. But and I'm gonna pull it up on my end because I'm blind. Well, I can make my screen bigger. Hold on, I'm blind as that. Yeah. Oh, that's better for me. Okay. So, of course, we got the wide receiver. Of course, Drake London, Hodge. Reserves is David Seals, Chris Blair, Quincy Skinner. No surprise there. Of course, Jake Matthews. Basically, it's the typical depth chart that I was expecting for the most part going into the preseason and everything else. Not surprising there. Our starters are where they need to be. Like we were just talking about the rookies, kind of, wanting up in and then wanting to take that. It's fun to see what these rookies going to do. The preseason is going to show that.
Joshua Gray, he's that UDFA person we got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he come in as a center? I think he was like guard or something, or tackle.
Yeah.
When he first came in, but
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Let me see.
I think from my point of view that, again, I think Mad Mike said this in one of your shows. The thing that's concerning is the offensive.
Okay.
Yeah, the offensive line outside the starters is. You've got Elijah Wilkinson, you've got Storm Norton, but I think Storm Norton's been injured. I think he's injured just now. But then you look at centre, and you look at, obviously, we've got Ryan Nuzzel, but you've then got behind them, obviously, one of your drafts from I think last year, Javon Gwynn. but from what I'm hearing, that he's not been really lighting it up over in training camp, which again is a wee bit concerning. So if we lose any of the O line through injury, I don't think there's a lot of depth there to bring in. You know, I mean, I'm not really wanting to take a chance on Javon Gwynn at centre if Ryan Nuzzel gets injured.
You know, but things can turn around quick because like Nuzzel, I would have told you I wasn't really sure as him as a starter 2 years ago, and he's really put it together. Like I'm really impressed with Nuzzel and how like I don't know, like it just kind of seems like overnight. Like I was kind of a little worried once Dahlman left, but over the past few months and just like what everybody said about him, even like Rook saying he's like stump like and all that stuff, like I feel great about him. And once I look back on it, like, yeah, he started for most of the seasons in the past 2 years. So there's no reason for me to not trust him. So hopefully this room will continue at growing good offensive linemen, especially our offensive line coach. I do have a lot of confidence in that they can get the right guys in there. But yeah, that is a bit of a concern.
But of course, he said this is where preseason kind of shows it. You know who's wanting hard enough and been practicing and taking it serious. So we'll right now it's because we're just seeing it in training camp. We don't know until we actually see the pads in the game played to make those suggestions. And then at the same time, a lot of times in training camp, especially with the media, they kind of focus on the popular guys, if you notice. So some people might be out there making some impacts, but not really making a lot of noise in the media because it's like, well, that's not as interesting to me other than Chris Lundgren, not Chris. I'm saying Chris Lundgren, Lindstrom, and all these other players. It's like, I want to hear what they got to say because they are obviously
quarterback throws a pick or something. Yeah, they're just gonna say whatever, but
see Kyle Pitts, even though that should be wide receiver, slash for him.
Put an asterisk on it.
Definitely.
And then you see old Felipe Franks behind Kyle Pitts as his backup.
Yeah.
And
which is we'll see. I'm just happy to see a healthy Kyle Pitts, but even though they're keeping him limited as well, just to be on the safe side with him as well. I'm just glad. I feel like this year we're gonna see the Kyle Pitts we've been waiting on to see because of course his contracts. He has to at this point. You have no other choice, homeboy. Bijan, we got to pronounce his name correctly. Bijan Robinson.
You know what's funny? Like that just got brought up again, like it's a new thing. But people were talking about that when he first got drafted. Like I remember that being like a thing, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we've been saying his name wrong the whole time." Now I'm like, he told you guys like 2 years ago. Like I don't know.
Just because it's just natural to say Bijan,
right? Yeah.
But
I don't even think he cares, anyways. He's like, "Call me whatever."
He said, "Look, I answered to it." He think he was making a joke about it. He said his mama was asking him, "Why are you calling yourself that?" Because like that's what everybody's been saying, Mom. That's kind of like how I have a sister. Her name is Marshall. But it looks like Marshall because my mom I don't know what's going on with her when she had my sister, but they call her Marshall, and sometimes she just go with that. It's like but it's Marshall.
Yeah.
And then sometimes my mom don't even say Marshall. She'll say Michelle. Like, Mom, which one did you want? did you want it to be Marshall, Michelle? And she gets so irritated with that. Mom, you're pronouncing my name even wrong. Maybe she was doped up on something. And then she was like, yeah, that's what we're going to put there, Marshall. And she realized it should have been Michelle. But that's just an inside story.
Maybe the epidural just kicked in and she was someone else. You know what I mean?
Kind of sounds French, Marshall.
Yeah, but it's spelled Marshall, and that's people call it Marshall.
Yeah.
So it's like okay. So and sometimes they think if she's a guy because of that. So she's like, no, I'm a lady here. But Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins, and then we're gonna see Easton and Emery in preseason Friday. So you guys get to know them a little bit and see how good they are in case Kirk Cousins makes his grand exit, because he's over here, trying to look great because somebody's gonna make that call soon. Darnell Mooney, Casey Washington.
I mean, Casey Washington's been getting some hype in training camp that he's been doing so well. So the fact that you see him, I mean, I know obviously the DJ Chark came in late, but the fact that he's above DJ Chark is, I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with that.
Just today alone, it was Pennett's receivers, of course, was London 9, Pitts 4, Casey Washington 2, Ray McLeod. So he's amongst those names that you hear a lot. And DJ Clark, something here for him. It said he with Cousins, he got one today. So you can see. So it makes sense the way this depth chart is pulled together.
I'm just trying to find where Drake London is. Oh, there he is. So he's at the top. Yeah, he was at the top.
Yeah. We had went past that because it was like that's an obvious, that's a given.
Yeah.
Leonard Floyd, James Pierce Jr. We get to see him in preseason. So that's going to be exciting to have.
This is something I said in
I don't think we're going to see Onyemata out there. They're probably going to give him some rest.
They probably will.
I mean, guys, I need to ask a question. I mean, so $8.5 million cap saving if we release David Onyemata.
Nah, it's not worth it.
I mean, to be honest, again, I've not seen. I've watched training camp, but I've not seen his name getting mentioned much at all. When you were there, Maggie, did you see much Onyemata?
No.
He kind of moves. He's a pretty quiet guy. Like you never really hear from him that much. I feel like in the past few years he's been here.
And that's true. That is true. I'm just looking at the notes from the day. No, I don't really see him on here. Let's see.
And we don't really have a lot of like big guys up front. We need what we got left.
Billy Bowman.
And again, you've got obviously. I'll say what I was going to say. I said this in one of the other shows that having. I think there was it was the Madden ratings, and it had James Pierce Jr. above some of the other edges that had been in the game for like 4 or 5 years. And I always think that's funny. So the fact that Leonard Floyd, who's been in the NFL for I think 8 or 9 years, the fact that he's ahead of James Pierce Jr. that makes sense to me, to be honest. Same with Arnold Ebiketie as well. Again, having Jalen Walker behind him.
And it says, of course, Caden Ellis, he got his hands on the Penix pass. That's where I was looking for. Okay. He got his hands on the Penix pass meant for Pitts and Diablo, who Morris has described as an avatar, nearly intercepted it, actually. And, of course, Braylon Trice got some reps with the ones on edge today, too. So, as we go along and further into the preseason and everything, we probably start seeing some more names there.
Nick Kubitz, I have not seen that name all off season. That's the first time seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm actually like realizing some of these guys I don't even know.
I know, it's like, you're on the team? Oh, hey. Oops, I didn't know. When I just mentioned Diablo.
Yeah, when we done the show with the deck, it was looking at that show, the staff and the players. There was, I looked at them and I was like,
Khalid
Kareem, like he had been getting mentioned how well he'd played, but again, I don't see him at all in the depth chart. So, some of the names you're just kind of you're lost. There's that many.
Oh yeah, the cut's gonna.
And it's going to make that roster get easier and easier to select at the end of it, to be honest, so.
No,
but it feels good to see familiar faces still there, starting and things like that. So, I feel good about that at least. But like you said, some places where we don't have a lot of depth in those positions, it is a little concerning.
again, when you see D. Alford at Nickelback in front of Billy Bowman, I mean, that's because I honestly thought that obviously he struggled last year, D. Alford. And then you're looking at Clark Phillips the third, which again, that was one of the players I thought were maybe a good chance of effectively not making the 53-man squad. And he's second behind Mike Hughes. So again, you've been hearing a lot about Natron Brooks out of the training camp as well, how well he's played. So it just goes to show that the coaches they're seeing stuff that we don't see or we don't hear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And it
Sorry,
also,
Blackberry
I feel like
cracking me
the
up,
fact that they also don't want us recording training camp and things like that is some things you probably won't hear. Like I said it on our show last night. It's some things that they're probably keeping some of our weapons kind of hush hush, so you won't. We're not gonna give you everything, everybody, but you're gonna get enough.
Absolutely.
I think Xavier is going to be moved to starter by the beginning of the season because seeing Jordan Fuller's name right like next to Jesse Bates, it just doesn't seem right. I think that's Xavier Watts' spot to take. I don't think Jordan Fuller's starting. Or being the number one for the season. Because right behind Xavier Watts is a UFL player.
Henry Black, yeah. And again, probably one of the other things that's been discussed in preseason is the kicker. So again, at the moment,
I don't know. I mean, from what I'm seeing, he's having, Koo is having a good training camp. I haven't really seen anything too bad coming out of that from it. So
I heard today was good for him.
Today was good for him.
Yeah. Lenny Krieg, I finally got to hear him talk. I haven't really seen him up until they did I think it was yesterday's interviews. Or is today's? I don't know. But seems like a nice guy. His accent, it's pretty noticeable. So, but no, he seems like he's listening to. He's just, seeing how the game works and all that and getting a feel for it. I think he said he started playing football around COVID or whatever from like a cousin or something. But yeah.
And with Koo, it was just, it was kind of like the Kirk Cousins situation. He was injured. And I think that's why they didn't make too much of a fuss of it because, we're going to let him sit down, rest it, chill. They really wasn't panicking anything. They brought Lenny Legg in to be on the safe side and everything else. But they really wasn't saying a lot about it because I felt they was like, I think we're in a good place with him. He just needs to, come back better and healthier. And that would make the difference. So for him to have a good training camp, that's good to hear. That's good to know. But also that Lenny is also having a good training camp too, though. It's good as well.
Yeah. I think he just needs some pressure, really. Like he's that clutch kicker under pressure. That's when he starts doing good. That's how his career started from Chargers. Well, kind of almost ended, but then got started back up with the Falcons. But,
you're right. Because, he was having his inconsistency when he was leaving. That's why. And then, that was the concerns. Like, well, is he going to come over here and be that way? But that pressure and everything that was on.
And the guy who took his job, Cameron Dicker, for the Chargers, he said that Koo is the most swaggiest kicker in the league or something like that. I've seen an interview.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't forget the couple of seasons ago, the helmet toss in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember who it was against. He just kicked a game-winning field goal, and he literally just tossed it in the air. It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But
I mean, he's just Koo is a great player. Like he also just brings that everyone's chanting Koo while the kick's about to go and everything. Like he's just a really good player for the fans too. Like no one wants to see him go. But yeah.
And again, everybody thinks they're booing him. When I was at the game at Wembley. in
Uh-huh.
2023. When Koo come on, all the Atlanta Falcons fans started shouting Koo, and people were saying, why are you booing him? And we were like, no, his name's Koo. We're literally shouting his name. So that was good.
So he's a fan favorite as well, like you said. You know, every time we see Cool, of course, when he's healthy and he's consistent, it's like we know we're gonna get that extra point, or we're gonna, you know, we know we're gonna get that in. So it's like, come on, Cool.
I mean,
there was Tampa.
For a few, I mean, for 3 or 4 seasons, he was one of the best in the league. I mean,
he was
the highest percentage in NFL history.
He was making the Pro Bowl.
And again, a lot of your thoughts last year was it injury or was he just falling off? I remember watching a video and it showed him he had changed his stance a bit, Cam.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. You could actually see that he wasn't. He wasn't as far back. He was more front on. And I'm assuming that must have been down to just the way he was feeling, his leg, the pain he was in, kind of thing. So again, that's onto the coaching staff. But I mean, the guy that we brought up after him, Patterson. I mean, he was a terrible kicker. I mean, just a woeful kicker.
I wish it was more simple with kickers.
Here's a little point right here with Lee. Y'all want to put it into the conversation. Looked at our schedule and it's similar to 98.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I always remember when 2020 came along and then 2024 came along. I always say to myself, well, this is effectively the schedule that we got to the Super Bowl with. It didn't work for us last year, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, we have to play whoever they put in front of us. It's not who you play; it's how good you play.
How good you play, absolutely.
And again, when you look at training camp, you look at the way the defense is at the moment, and effectively the way the offense has been. I think Zach Robinson and Jeff Ulbrich have got it in their head that we'll play the way we want to play, and it's then down to you to stop us. You know what I mean? So I think for the offense, as Scott Kennedy said, we just need average.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back on Matt Ryan's time, I think the best defense he ever had was a top 15 defense. We actually were top 15 defense, and that was the best he ever had. We need to be in a position where we can actually give Michael Penix Jr. a top 15 defense, even if it's 15th. Then the way this offense is going to be and the amount of points this offense, I think, are going to score, that'll work for us.
And speaking of defense, just some key points that Will did put in here right here. But we're unleashing the beast. James Pierce will play, as well as Jalen actually feels ahead of the game doing current limitations at practice. He's ready to go. So, and I guess it kind of leads to the question: who is the X factor on the Falcons defense in 2025? If you guys want to kind of ponder on that a little bit. And fans in the chat, if you're in here, share this out, and you can drop some ideas in there too about that as far as the defense. So that's me. I'm a defensive girl, so I'm excited to really see how this comes together. That's where I'm at. I mean, I'm just excited just to see. I don't believe that we're going to be at the bottom.
Yeah, so it's hard to pick your poison on who's going to be the X factor on the team, because like the obvious answer is like Pierce or Jalen. They're up front, they're going after the quarterback, they're going to be getting that pressure that we need, that we've been needing for years. But I don't know. I'm going to choose Xavier Watts. I don't know. I really like how he's been very mature. as a rookie and everything. I think he's, I don't know. I think it's crazy that he even fell to where he was. Like him being like the leading in picks in college football and going that far down. I don't know how he didn't get picked up.
Sometimes it's politics and, what you just never know what happens. So that's why sometimes you can do all the mock drafts all day long, but it might not go the way those mock drafts completely go, because some of these players do drop, which isn't a benefit for us if we're not, number 10, top 10 picking. So it's like, come on,
right.
Bring them on.
I think Cam with Kobe Bryant. I think Kobe Bryant, like when maybe it was the same way as Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman. I think they come across as cocky when they're more confident. And again, if I was a head coach, I would be looking for players like that. You know what I mean? If they're delusional at the start, then it's a start. You have to, if they believe they're the best, then you just bring them in and try and make them believe that they're the best. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of head coaches and a lot of backroom staff that don't really like that cockiness. They look at it as how hard is this guy to manage? How is it going to be around other players and things like that? They overthink it sometimes, and it's our benefit. You know what I mean? From my point of view, and on the defense, I mean, I'm taking the low hanging fruit. I'm going for James Pierce Jr. I'm he's one of them, yes. And the cockiness, I feel like the veterans at least kind of was like, you know what? We had a little conversation with him and we're good here. Just to show that, hey, you pushing up and you showing out like this, but like Coach said, it's like, long as it doesn't ruin practice and things like that.
Or get us penalties or anything in the game. That's when it's going to start.
Dumb mistakes and, and make these penalties and just do stupid stuff just to be that cocky, and you're not proving yourself. You're too much trying to look hard and be hard and all that. Then as long as it don't interrupt what's going on the field, go at it. Because then you can taunt those offensive players over there, and they intimidated by, James Pierce right there. That's what we want. That's what we need. We need those type of guys. I'm tired of being the Charmin tissue in the defense. Yeah. People need to be like, oh man, James Pierce Jr., Wall, all these players that's in that mix. It's like, I'm afraid. I don't know what to expect at this point. I'm a little scared. That's what we need.
But again, that's why I want to see James Pierce Jr. in the preseason.
Yeah,
let him be him. I don't want a coaching staff that effectively, because they apparently here or there, that they try and pull him back. This guy's special. I really, really, honestly believe we've got a possible defensive rookie of the year in this guy. But I don't want him to be in a position where he's constantly thinking about what he is doing just in case he upsets the coaching staff. If he gets a penalty here or there, so be it. Let him be him. He will learn over time. He's still a rookie. And you know yourself, Maggie, a lot of rookies that we've drafted and we've allowed them to have the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to be in a position where he doesn't, literally everything that he showed in training camp, that he doesn't show that on the field in important games because our coaching staff have effectively pulled him back and told him, don't do this, don't do that.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I felt like Raheem, he was just like, they kept trying to focus on that. But it's like, no, we're good over here, Just it's all about discipline and knowing when to use it and not. But he's definitely not saying he needs to calm down. I think this, none of the players, anybody is saying, yeah, he needs to. We don't want him to unleash that. No, preseason is the point where we allow him to eat a little bit and get out there and actually be part of this pro football, because it's the transition from college to now. It's like, okay, let's get you out there and let's see what you all are really about now, because that's preseason, that's training camp. But I'm excited to see what this rook do, when he has to really put it on the on the line as far as proving himself and things like that. I'm thinking he wants it. He wants it bad. So I think we're going to be very excited to see some of these rooks get out here on defense. So I'm happy.
But again, going back to like, I wouldn't use the word, but I'll effectively paraphrase it. See you next Tuesday. So effectively, I want my edge guys to be that. I don't want them to. I'm not here. This ain't Friends Reunited. This is an NFL game. I want my edges to be hated by their offensive O-line. I want them to be hated because they're constantly a pain in the ass. That's what I want.
Yeah, making their job harder.
That's what I'm saying. It's because, like you were seeing in some of these points, getting the quarterback to drop some passes and things. It's showing that, damn, not even in training camp, I gotta really, make sure I'm paying attention to what's going on with this defense. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing. It's putting everybody on their toes.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And as I say, if James Pierce is doing that against a top 5 O-line, and he has been doing it against the actual first team, if he's doing that against a top 5 O-line, you imagine what he's going to do against the Lions, third and fourth players. You know what I mean? He's going to feast on. Well, it's you say Friday night. It's Friday night, but it's Saturday for us. So it literally kicks off at midnight and Saturday morning for us. So, I mean,
how do you manage that? And then it's early for you. Our game. Well, that's Friday. Is what time for us in
So it'll be Friday 8:00, is it? 7:00? Yeah, Friday 7:00.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight. 6 p.m. for me. I'm Central Standard, so yeah, it's probably 7:00 East. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively, I'll come home from work on Friday and probably go up and get a few hours, Kip.
Yeah. Get yourself a coffee.
Yeah.
Really?
And then watch the game. Won't know who these players are. Is that our player or is that their player?
So I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up. Something that we really did do a lot of last season. At this point, I think everybody was kind of doing their own things, but I'm actually wanting to bring back postseason commentary. Maybe not on the nights where it's Saturday, late night games for everyone, but Sundays, I would like to kind of bring back post game. And you guys can put it in the chat if you would like to see the Atlanta Falcons Nation bring back post game coverage after the fact. I would love to bring that back. I think that was one of our highly rated shows. Of course, we have pregame with Magnus on Sunday mornings, but just to get that game day reaction after that. Now, this is more of it wasn't what we was scripted. We just kind of giving us our reaction based on that. Sometimes we would allow the fans on, but how do you guys feel about having some post-game reactions right after the games on Sundays, most parts, when it's a regular time game, not so late for everybody?
Yeah, I have no problem doing that. Just let my thoughts out on what I've seen, good or bad, but yeah.
And this will be a kind of a free for all. It'll be for everybody that wants to jump on. It's kind of how we used to do it. So it's not where we're, you have to be committed to it. But, a lot of people, of course, just don't go to ESPN. They don't go to NFL Network.
Have to watch all the ads and all that stuff. And
and then they don't give us a lot of love, especially if we're going to knock on wood. We're going to have a great season. But especially if we're just not that popular team that they care to talk about. So they're looking for something like that. I know other content creators does it as well.
I mean, what I would say is be prepared to show how. I mean, I'll show you how passionate I'm because I mean, never have men on a park made a difference to my life so much. It's unbelievable because, I mean, when a normal game's on at 6 o'clock, it starts on Sunday and over here. And believe it, there's been times where it's like if it's a later game, it starts at 9, then we're into like 11 to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and God, if it's been a great game and we've played well and we've won, I'll sleep like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, see if it's against the Aints or the Bucks or the Panthers, one of our division rivals, and we stink the place up. My God, I'm playing the game over in my head.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of just rethinking on decisions after that game. You just,
what went wrong, what happened, and then they talked about it. Yeah. It's just, I've had some games where I was like, I don't even want to cut on the TV. Leave me alone. Just give me my moment. Because oh my God, that's embarrassing. But
you take off the jersey and then I'm taking my nap.
and again, it's just like I remember the Tampa game last year when it was Cadero Hodge. So so it started at 1 o'clock. So it was impossible for me. 1 o'clock till like 4 a.m. Impossible at that point. Work commitments for me to watch it. So the benefit of being in the UK is that you never go into a working environment and they're talking about what happened.
Gotcha. So you can escape it for the most part, unless one person know you a Falcons fan, they might want to taunt you.
Yeah, nobody's talking about what happened in America between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. So effectively,
we're depressing our thoughts at one. You know?
Yeah. So you can get through the day without effectively anybody telling you the score. You stay off Twitter, X, and you just you just wing it. And I remember my son last year, he was doing night shift and he actually watched the game live. And I always say to him, if you watch the game live, do not say anything. I don't want to hear a comment out of you. I don't want, that game was good. Whatever, you'll say it in a way that I either know that we've lost or we've won, so do not say anything. And I remember when Cadero Hodge got that ball and ran it in for a touchdown, I went absolutely apeshit. I went mental. And then went on the phone, and the first thing my son says to me was, "Have you watched it?" And I went, "Have I watched it?" And just started screaming, "Yes!" It was like, so we started talking about it. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But when it's a loss,
no. At least we ain't got to hear Arthur Smith talk after a loss, though. Those post-game interviews after a loss, man. They did crack me up, though.
I hated his sarcasm, and it's just, he annoyed me. I wanted to see him go.
Thanks for the O-line, though. I can at least appreciate that from him.
But again, it wasn't really Arthur Smith that built that O-line.
Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, it was Ledbetter. Not Ledbetter.
Dimitrov started it, and then Terry Fontenot finished it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's somebody that's going to that'll be looking for a contract soon. Bergeron, I think Bergeron's been a fantastic draft signing for us. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we need to. It all happens on Friday. But I will say, if we lose on Friday, I'll still be depressed. You know what I mean?
And just based on the draft pick, depth chart, this is what Will wanted to kind of cover here as well. Just the undrafted free agents. Who would add much? Who would contribute much in the preseason, if any? As far as that,
I think from my point of view, it's Kobe Bryant, Nick Nash, probably the most important ones. Again, you heard about Khalid Kareem had been playing really well, so he's currently, I think, fourth on the offensive linebacker. So again, outside linebacker. So, but I think from my point of view, it's going to be either Nick Nash or Kobe Bryant. Again, I didn't watch much of. I think Kobe Bryant came from Kentucky. Was that right?
No, he came from Kansas.
Kansas.
KU.
Yeah. So again, I didn't watch many Kansas games, so I didn't know a lot about him. And again, Nick Nash. Where did Nick Nash come from?
It was some California school. San Jose. I think it was San Jose. He was like the something for most receptions or something. 3-time. Let me look it up. Yeah, San Jose State Spartans.
We got an error about Facebook. I don't know if they're seeing us on Facebook anymore. I do see that. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's okay. We're here on YouTube for the most part anyway.
Again, it's quite strange because the other time that I went to America, I actually stayed in San Jose.
Yeah.
So effectively, that if I had stayed there, that was my local team kind of thing. So,
Billet, I can't pronounce his name right. Billet Nikoff Award finalist. Was one of the 3 finalists for that award, along with Travis Hunter and Tatora McMillan.
Okay.
It's crazy that he went undrafted, and then those 2 guys went first round, and he was getting awarded the same stuff. It's just mainly because of school he went to, also San Jose. I guess they just don't really look at that but I don't know. Yeah, he's part of the named Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week. I'm not sure. Oh, Triple Crown. Yeah, college football Triple Crown. Led the nation in 104 receptions, 1,382 receiving yards, and 16 touchdowns.
And again, shout out to our coach, our scouts for finding this guy. You know what I mean? But again, in the preseason, I mean, not just undrafted free agents. I'm desperate to look at like the Braylon Trice and effectively DeMarco Helms because he was injured last year for a bit. Obviously, I don't think Leonard Floyd's going to play because obviously he's a veteran. But again, from the defense point of view, I honestly think he could be, if it's not James Pierce, I think he could be the first player in a long time to have double-digit sacks in Falcons. You know what I mean? So, as I said, Billy Bowman, I'm looking forward to seeing him and Xavier Watts. I mean, there's quite a few, but again, there's going to be players that jump out that you've not even spoke about that you're going to watch and think, God, who's this guy? You know what I mean?
I think so. I think it's going to be, fairly interesting to kind of start learning these names. Like we were saying, we was looking at that chart. Like I didn't even realize he was on there.
Yeah.
So, this is where we're going to start seeing a little bit of that. And then as far as Facebook, for some reason, it cut the stream off, so they're not seeing us live over there. So you see the numbers drop a little bit. That's why I don't see a warning on here and that. I don't know what happened, but we're still live on YouTube and everything else. So if you guys are still here, thank you guys for continuing to tune in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. With that though, I think we don't want to overdo it today because of course we got another episode tomorrow.
Right.
That we can break down some things as well. Of course, we got practice and everything else going on. And the first scrimmage, I just saw some of the scrimmage notes here, so I'm going to kind of get into detail on that one. I'm going to share it to you guys. But overall, I think that we pretty much covered it for the day. Anything else you guys wanted to bring up, or you think we're good right here?
That should be it.
Yeah, I'm just excited that at the end of this week there's a game. So all the dead zone and the nothing to talk about. And I mean, this is our 12th episode, so effectively we've went nearly 25 hours, probably more, because some of the shows went into 3 hours. So we've spoke for 25 hours without actually seeing a live game. So the fact that it's all just about to start. Next week we've got the play with the Titans, where the scrimmage kind of thing with the Titans. So again, that'll give us a lot to talk about. I think James Pearce is going to be probably a name that's going to be in the thick of things as well. But yeah, I'm just excited to for a game to be here.
Yeah, because me right here, me and the Lady Birds, unless we have, it kind of extends past an hour and 30. I try not to burn myself out, especially when we're getting ready to have this, games coming in. It's going to be a lot to talk about. I try not to burn myself out. So I always cap it about an hour and 30. 3 hours, I guess, because it's just like, hey, we just getting out here talking. But me, unless it's a lot of activity and things like that, right now we're just still we're waiting on preseason.
Yeah. Everyone's just ready for the football, really.
Yeah. So then we'll have a lot more to talk about. So I feel like it's a good stopping point right here, especially if you come back on tomorrow. So on that note, we can go ahead and close this on out. Thank you. Shout out to the Falcons fan that's tuned in to us. If you didn't catch the beginning, rewatch it, reshare this. We do have some new additions coming to the team that you guys will meet probably later on in the season. We're still getting them together there. But for the most part, if you guys are interested in joining the international team, you can hit me and Will up and let me know. I've been reaching out to Germany. I've been reaching out to Mexico. It's kind of been a hit and miss with that one. But, hey, if we just building the UK team, I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter here. And appreciate you, Cam. I hadn't had a chance to get on with you guys for actually just stepping up. And I've been seeing you in the chat and things like that. So it's nice to kind of put a face to you now. And glad that you are ready to come on here and talk some football. The more the merrier. Yeah. But I'm going to let you go ahead and close this out. Of course, leave it to you, Des, if you want to close out. How can they find you? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just excited that there's a football game in a couple of days' time. That's what I'm excited for. If anybody wants to find me, and again, since I've been on the show, I've had some amazing positive comments and messages. So they can find me in X, Twitter, Poison, whatever Kyle Picks calls it, at Scottish Falcon. So that's where they can find me.
Yep. I ain't got no accounts to share. If you want to find me, I'll be here. I just like to talk about Falcons football, and yeah.
And where are you?
Kansas.
Kansas. Okay.
Yep.
How? I know you told your story, but how in the world you became a Falcons fan in Kansas?
My dad is a Cowboys fan, and so is my older brother, and then my stepdad and them were Bills fans. So mainly was like when I was a kid, we'd play football, on the Xbox, and I had to choose a different team, and I liked the red and black, and I've seen some games of the Falcons play. I liked Roddy White, Michael Turner, so that's why I chose it, and I never went back since. I was like 2011 or 10. So yeah.
Speaking of Michael Turner, I actually officially confirmed that I will be interviewing Michael Turner.
Sweet.
Next week.
I'll have to watch that. Yeah.
He is gonna be on the Lady Birds AFN because I seen him in training camp. I hit him up. Was it training camp? Yeah. Seen him in training camp. Seen him at the draft party as well. I've been on him, but we had some incidents where we originally had him scheduled for a few weeks ago. I had to postpone it, but we got him back in the game now, so we will. And I'm also trying to have Ov.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love him and Ov on Believe.
He's actually in showed interest because we also had. I haven't had Michael Turner at all, but we've had Ov on the channel before. Ov showed some interest in being back. It'd be great we can have them both on at the same time. That's
right. Yeah,
great. But if not, we will also have Ov. He wants to show up and be there. So Atlanta Falcons Nation, we're making headlines at this point. So On that note, your girl, Miss Maggie T, Atlanta Falcons Nation, first lady of this channel. Tune in to us tomorrow at same time for the Scottish Falcons. Maybe we might see some more of the new additions come on and show some things. And of course, I hope Will can figure out what's going on with this thing. But we got enough people on this panel where we can make it work. We got Dez. Dez, you holding it down. Cam, you here.
Yeah.
So, if you're watching back, sir, don't stress yourself. As long as we got enough people to cover it, life happens.
Absolutely.
Might be an equipment upgrade that needs to happen. I had to do it because I was doing everything from my phone at some point. Then I finally was like, let me put the money down and go get my laptop fixed. Found a nice little mechanic that wasn't charging me an arm and a leg that did it. And I was pushing it off, but I finally got it done. It was like, you know what? I got to be ready for this season because this is an exciting season for the Falcons.
Absolutely.
I can feel it all in the air tonight. So I'm excited about that. But on that note, you guys continue to subscribe to the channel. Share this out. We do have our GoFundMe fund and our Cash App, Atlanta Falcons Nation, $$ in the front. If you want to continue to donate, we do have some educators on our crew that like Bree on the Lady Bird. She's a teacher. So, she needs some things for the classroom. So those donations, those super chats, those proceeds definitely go back to our educators fund. So good night. Well, good evening for some people. It's good night for you. I'm getting ready to get off work actually and go ahead and have some dinner and everything.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to my bed.
Get in your bed. There you go. I said 3 hours. It's insane for you, Des.
Yeah.
How in the world do you
He's
do?
overachiever.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. And see you guys. I think Ty Kale comes on later on this evening for us in the U.S. Around 9:30-ish p.m. So Eastern. So be on the lookout for that if he thinks to go on. Good night.
Good night, guys.